Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction for Omniscient Reader or Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint chapters 67, 68, and maybe 69 again. It depends on how long these chapters are. If I read two of them and it's like less than 30 minutes, I'm like, yeah, I can go for a third one. If two of them take me like 50 minutes, it's like, okay, maybe not. Last week was nuts though. Last week felt like a mini series finale. It felt very conclusive, like we kind of finished the first part of Omniscient Reader. And it's weird because it feels like there's still so much more that we could see with the Soul area and everything. But if we're done with the stuff in Soul, if, like, you know, the king has kind of been decided, it's Dokja, but he refused the throne, and the people of Soul now would presumably maybe need to work against all of the other domes around the world in these games to survive the apocalypse or whatever. It is very interesting because, I don't know, it just feels like there's so much left to do even here before moving on to the next stage, and yet it feels like we might be moving to the next stage. But that's crazy. A lot of people in the comments said, yeah, this really does feel like almost like the ending of the prologue in a way, and we move on to larger things as the characters now have to do more. But, you know, I'm interested in continuing, so let's just go on to chapter 67. Let's just read. So we start off with, let me make sure everything looks all right on screen. I mentioned this before, but I based my window here for the reading capture on Omniscient Reader because Omniscient Reader goes wider than Kubera or Tower of God sometimes. Like, I found the widest panel of Omniscient Reader I could find and then made it so that the sides of this would kind of roughly equal up to the wider panels of Omniscient Reader. So there should still be like white areas on the side for reading other things, but for some, Omniscient Reader might like fully fill this little box. But yeah, I was just checking to make sure everything was showing up here okay for all of you. You shouldn't have done that, says the Dokja. I will personally make sure that you regret what you did today for the rest of your life. Why? Are you mad? You must be, since I won this round. With this, I've managed to create a fable during the fourth scenario as planned. Why would you destroy the throne? What the hell is going on? Give us another ruler's throne. We'll take part in the scenario again. Let's elect a new ruler. The scenario is ended. No one can change that. Whatever happens to you all from now on is all because of that man. Okay? That bastard. And again, Dokja has a lot of really useful friends, allies, whatever. But then there's also now a lot of angry, useless people that are around. A world without a king? Fine, I'd love to see you try. Okay, what's this? Let's see how long you can survive without a leader. Okay, what? Where did everyone go? Wait. This wasn't supposed to happen. Remember, Dokja, and they're taking literally everyone. If this world comes to an end, what's happening? Get the kid in the cape. It's all because of you. Yeah, they're taking all of the remaining people that are alive. And leaving Dokja. You. And then Dokja gets transported. Okay, so we're like, are we hitting the next scenario, the next round of games, but everyone's separated? If so, if we jump our focus around and don't just stick the focus on Dokja alone, this could end up giving us some really cool development for the side characters. Huh. And then he bursts out laughing. I'll be sure to keep an eye out to see how long you last. You have obtained 10,000 coins as a reward for completing the fourth scenario. Hey. Hey, Dokja. What the hell? Look at him. I think he might just kill us. Okay, flashback. What are you waiting for? Go on. Why don't you go make front page news like your mom? He's coughing. If I was you, Jung-hyuk. Breathe, man. Is this a daydream? Right. I was really into TWSA back then. I used to have pathetic daydreams like that. Of all the dreams I could have. Sung Minu. I wonder what he's up to these days. I heard he went to a good university and got himself a great job despite being a bully. Life is so unfair. Personal skill, the fourth wall has been activated. I wonder if he's still alive. Okay, so he's like actually literally seeing this because of his skills. Level 3 of Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint activated. Hey, can you hear me? Are you alright? Sir, Dokja, where are you? He looks back. Dokja, can you hear me? We have Huiwon. Damn it, why am I in a school of all places? We have Ji with a bump on her head. Why am I... Oh, hold on. This actually could be very interesting. Because Dokja's skill is activating, and he was sent to a flashback. Huiwon is in a bar, which doesn't tell us too much of anything personally until we get to the next panels. But now after seeing the next panels, it makes you wonder, why is Huiwon in a bar? Because when we go to the next panels, Ji-hye is in a school. That's where she started all of this out. And then we have Hyunsung in what looks to be an army barracks, maybe. So they might all be getting sent to places from their past. I think I get it. Everyone seems to have been teleported to a place with personal ties. This isn't the cadet school. These are the barracks. That mid-level Dokkaebi must have created solo scenarios for each individual. That would be so cool if we get to see all of them. I really want to see the side characters have their time to shine. Why does she have a bump on her head? Even if this isn't... Again, since he is bringing like a note to it, at first I thought it was just a comedic thing. Okay, she hit her head when she was doing whatever. But since he is bringing like attention to it, it might actually be a hint at something more. Even if this is independent of the main scenario, he would be held responsible for pulling something like this. I'm fine. Just keep yourself safe. I'll come find you soon. I doubt they can hear me though. Level 3 of Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint deactivated. Okay, I was wondering, they're doing... Okay, they have it censored a little bit, because I was like, does she have something on her shirt? No, they're doing the wet shirt is see-through thing with Huiwon. But they censored a little bit, other than the shoulders and arms. Alright, level 3 of Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint deactivated. And he wakes up. Is this? I should have been teleported to a place I know. A rooftop? Damn it. I was hoping I would end up anywhere but here. A few constellations are excited to hear you say that. I think maybe that kind of goes for everyone. Everyone except Huiwon that we didn't get to see too much of looked uncomfortable with where they were sent. So that might be a part of the scenario. Minosoft. Oh. This is the rooftop of Minosoft, the company I used to work for. Okay, wasn't the bully's name Mino? Or was it Minu? It was like Sung Mino or Sung Minu. We just got it. Chapter 15, The World Without a King, Part 3. Why here of all places? Every time I'd get an earful from my managers. And he laughs, I want to quit. I'd come up here with Mr. Yun to pass time. I wonder if he's still alive. A sub-scenario has been started as a filler. Okay, because 10 days are remaining until the 5th scenario. Okay, well, it says it down below. I was trying to read it from what Dokja was looking at, but it literally says it down below. Okay. Survival activities. Difficulty C+. The clear conditions are to survive in the ruined city for 10 days. You must eat 3 meals a day, sleep for 6 hours every night, and pay a survival fee of 500 coins before going to sleep. So this is making it so that... This is actually kind of cool, though. I was going to say it's punishing the people for not having a king, but the unintended side effect of it punishing them for not having a king, yes, some people are going to die. That is sad. It's like one of those things, some of you may die, but that's a price I'm willing to pay. Some people are going to die, but what it is doing is by separating them and having them to survive for 10 days, you are going to turn all of the surviving members of Seoul into like really effective survivors compared to the people who are just living under kings in some of the other domes. If you fail to perform any of the 3 conditions, you'll be met with a penalty. Duration's 10 days. Okay, penalty upon failure is death. We don't know if the not performing the conditions penalty is death, though. I was assuming it was, but it might not actually be. This is a scenario where the coin event is applied. All monsters that appear during the scenario have a chance to drop coins when defeated. So that's how you would presumably get your daily survival fee. Well, this seems like the perfect time to stock up on coins. Take him, quick. What's going on? There's no king in the Sochogu area as far as I know. I see they must be wanderers. I think this area belonged to the wanderers. I should do some research. And his phone says it's out of battery. I need to find a portable power bank. I didn't know that could still happen. So he's looking around. My team. As much as I used to hate it here, I kind of miss it. Maybe because it's all in the past now. He opens the desk. Power bank. And then there's a slide from somewhere else. Who goes there? Huh? Mr. Yoon survived? Dokja? Is that you? Mr. Yoon? Dokja, you survived. You're alive. It was horrible. Everyone who was working overtime was put in the first scenario. You know what? I killed Mr. Kim myself. That bastard who always used to give us an earful, I stabbed his neck with a pen, and the blood. It was like I was in a game. Okay, but even if you survived the first scenario that way, how are you still here? Wouldn't everyone have still needed to go through the other scenarios? Wouldn't they have still needed to compete in the King's Throne stuff like everyone in Seoul? Mr. Yoon, I'm sorry. I must have made you uncomfortable. Or did he compete in all that and he was just sent back here the same way that Dokja was sent back here? Are you alone here? Huh? Oh, no, I have a group I'm with. But where have you been, Dokja? I don't think I've seen you in the building. Have you joined up with a group? Were you clearing the main scenario? Well, something like that. I was in the Gwanghwa Moon area, but something happened. I see. You really are unlucky, Dokja. Sorry? You don't have to clear the scenarios yourself, don't you know? If you just stay hidden, the others clear the scenario for you. There's no point in risking your life. Come on, take it easy, will you? The world's gone to shit. This is weird, but if different people are taking part in different scenarios, what was the whole point of the King of Seoul thing? But there's no need to worry about anything. Wanderers like us have gathered to form a group. You don't always need a king to band together, right? Hurry and get a move on. Take them to the back. Alright. Song-ho, who's that with you? Oh, he's a work colleague of mine. I bumped into him. Is he a wanderer? We're not accepting people from other groups. You know that, right? Who's that? He's manager of the coin farm. Coin farm? Oh, you must not know. Look. And then, are you kidding me? Go at him like you mean it. Who's gonna pay you if you fight like that? Alright. Kill him now. Is that the best you can do? Cut him. That's it, give him hell. A constellation who loves the Colosseum is overjoyed. It seems rather familiar, doesn't it? The players were the king in the video game industry, and the CEO was the king in Minosoft. Okay. Who do you think is the king in this new world? Are you using the coins paid by the constellations? Yeah, there are constellations who love stuff like this. They pay us the coins they're gifted in return for food. A coin farm. It appears in TWSA too, but I didn't expect to see it this early. Many constellations are bored by the fights taking place in the cages. It seems like, wouldn't it be more effective to just set up like you would in a survival building crafting video game, like just a monster farm essentially? Wouldn't that produce more easier? And then, but it seems like they're not making much since they're in its early stages. You've arrived just in time, Dokja. You get to see something very interesting. Go on, get inside. Aren't they from Minosoft? They were. Please, spare us. Open the doors, let me out. You once said that games these days weren't desperate enough. The players don't open up their wallets to a game with a generic plot. I thought about it and you were right. Hey, take it. He tosses a knife in with them. Some constellations are wondering what's going on. Hey newbie, get the picture? What? You know who those people are, right? The head of the department, the deputy manager, the director, and... I don't think you get it. Where do you think you are right now? A few constellations have announced the start of the Colosseum. And then they start getting armor placed on them. Enact your revenge. What are you waiting for? Have you forgotten what they did to you? Mr. Yoon, what are you... He took your presentation and pretended like he did it himself. And the deputy manager, he worked you like a slave. Wait, what does that have to do with anything? Some constellations are sympathizing with the newbie. A constellation who loves vengeance wants the newbie to take revenge. Some constellations are interested in the new plot that's unfolding. That's right, you know what to do. Hey, wait, A few constellations are preparing to gift their coins. Some constellations want to see the revenge take place. Constellations who love the Colosseum are preparing their coins. They're even creating plots for the constellations. We've got some fresh meat. Lock them up. Take them over there. Dokja. Hey, she's quite a looker. And we have the fake king. Who's that? Hey, let's put on a new show with her. This is gonna be great. The plagiarist. Suyeong. And then, that's where we end there. This is one of those chapters that started out really, really, really cool, but kind of brings up some of my issues with Omniscient Reader, where Omniscient Reader has a lot of really, really, really good ideas that it kind of skims over and doesn't use a lot of the time. Like, the game is not actually super important a lot of the time, and you would think it should maybe be the most important thing, but hey, I'm a Tower of God reader. I'm used to the games not being as important as they should be. But then, like, we'll have good ideas, and there's, like, I mentioned before, where Omniscient Reader throws so much at the wall and so much at the wall, but then sometimes it really just doesn't do anything with some of the things it throws at the wall, and some of the ideas just don't... I wish it was more organized, I would say, because, like, say... I liked going through the cinema dungeon. I would like to see them going through more dungeons. But, like, we spent so much time in the underground subway, and that was just really not organized. Like, it was just a lot of different things going on, and some things just didn't matter. And now it's like, we had this whole thing where it all culminated. It felt like everything came together into the King of Soul thing, but now we have other people that have just survived in kind of like the same place. And it's like, okay, so they killed somebody to make it past the first scenario. What was their second scenario? How did they survive without, like, having to hide from the poison gas or whatever? How did they survive without having to go find a station? How did they survive without having to go from station to station as part of the capture the flag stuff? It's like, do some people just basically not have to play the game like others do? In which case it's like, what's the point? Like, shouldn't everybody have to play equally? It kind of seems random if they don't. And it's something that very often would happen in, like, zombie apocalypse stuff. Like, say The Walking Dead, you see people surviving and things that all the main characters go through, and then you'll just randomly run across these people that have been in an office building, and you're like, it's been like 7-8 years. How have you just sat in this office building and not done... Like, it would have made sense if you met these people, like, a couple months into the apocalypse, but how are you just still sitting in the same place like years later? It just doesn't logistically make sense, and it just doesn't make sense like the amount of time that has to have passed for you. You're all still in business clothes in an office, and it's like, it's been years. There is no way that things would still be like this. And it kind of feels the same, where we've seen all the stuff the main characters have gone through, and it makes less sense that there are people who have just been like, oh yeah, we've just been farming coins here. And it's like, if you've just been farming coins, like, what has gone on with the scenarios? It's like, oh, you can let other people complete it for you, but don't you have to at least be a part of that? Don't you at least need to participate? If not, you would die outside of it, right? Like we saw so many other characters die because they weren't in safe zones or this or that. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And like the stuff with the constellations is just really, really unorganized a lot of the time. And I just feel like it's something, again, to relate to Tower of God, something I've said before, and we do get a lot of information in Tower of God. But there are times when I'm like, a lot of manga would tell us this character is in this position. This character is in this position. If there are 20 slots, these are the characters in those 20 slots. And Tower of God very often doesn't do that. And I'm like, it just makes it too vague. And Omniscient Reader is kind of suffering from a similar problem of just not organizing things. Things are just thrown at the wall and all over the place. And it's tough sometimes to follow or to know what does or doesn't matter. Like, I think the idea of them all being separated, them having to survive 10 days is like really, really good. I think that's an incredible concept, and I really want to see more of that. But then we spend kind of like the back half or over half of the chapter with this coin farm stuff that just logistically speaking, with what we've seen in the game so far, just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that this would be the way to farm coins. Like, it's one of those things where you're like, look how, where the author can be like, look how evil people have become, look how people have fallen in the apocalypse. And it's like, sure, you can use this to show that off, but we kind of already knew that. And it's just, it just doesn't actually make sense for what we've seen in the series so far. If you try to look at it logically, like I said, there's probably a lot better and easier ways to make coins. So it's like, it's one thing when you're telling an apocalypse story, a post-apocalypse story, and you're like, look how evil these people have become because it benefits them. But when you're like, look how evil these people have become, and it actually is kind of inconvenient for them, then it becomes a little bit less, believable. Sure, there are people who are evil when it's inconvenient for them, but to set up a whole system where it works that way, people are going to kind of want convenience. So I don't know. I hate being critical of anything that I read because I know I open myself up to upsetting people who really, really do enjoy the thing that I'm reading, the thing that I'm reviewing. But yeah, I just really didn't like the back half of this chapter. Like, every once in a while, I'm just not going to like something. And I really feel like we went from a really good idea, and instead of focusing on that, which would have been really, really nice to see, we decided to go to something else that just isn't at all as good. But either way, we still have another chapter or two to read, so let's move on to 68. Okay, moving on, and sorry if I sound really rough or look rougher. It's really hot in here, but also I tried to get some water between chapters and like choked on my water for a good minute or so. So if my eyes are all like watery, it's because I was just choking on my water a bit. But hopefully it's fine. Hopefully it doesn't bother my voice too much. But either way, let's start reading chapter 68. She's not bad. You didn't do anything to her yet, did you? Of course not. All the constellations have their eyes on this place. Is that the plagiarist Han Suyeong? Then Omniscient Reader, Chapter 15, The World Without a King, Part 4. Then, hey, get the hell up. Kill him, that's it. Hey, who's next? Let's rock, paper, scissors for it. Suyeong will definitely die if I leave her like this, he thinks. But if I keep her Sorry, hiccup. Oof. But if I keep her alive, she'll get in my way. Aside from me, she knows the most about this world. The scenario's changed a lot, so so a lot of what she knows is useless now, but still. And he's surprised by something. Wait, what the hell am I saying? Is it right for me to decide who to keep alive and who to die? Or who to let die based on how useful they'll be? So again, some of the most interesting stuff in Omniscient Reader is Dokja's mental state. And this is a crazy one. Because really, if you're playing a survival game, there are probably lots of times when you're like, okay, it's better for this person to survive, it's better for this person to not survive, because you're thinking about it like how you would think of a game, because that's the way that the constellations, the Dokja, the author, whatever, have set up this world. But then, if you're Dokja here, you're catching yourself, wait, I am, like he's catching himself thinking about, oh yeah, this person should die, or this person should live, based on their usefulness to him. Dokja, if you promise me one thing, I can give her to you. How about it? What do you mean? You belong to a group, right? Introduce me to them. We're preparing to expand our forces, you see. You seem to be fairly well equipped yourself. He sees the swords. I can do that if you want. Really? Then, in return, I want you to put a stop to this. And then, please calm down. Let me out. Yeah, kill him. See, you've got this. Again, here's the thing. This isn't a comment on the story. This is a comment on me personally. So if I'm in the world of Omniscient Reader and I'm here, again, maybe my morality is completely wrong. If I am in Dokja's situation here, I do not ask them to stop this coin farm stuff. I kill them. Because Dokja has the ability to. Dokja is strong enough. I think he could kill, these guys seem like nobodies. I think he could do it. I absolutely slaughter these guys. Because they are running some fucked up business, and keeping people like that morally fucked up around can only come back to, poorly bite your group in the ass later on, I would think. So, I would straight up, time to slaughter this group. These people are cooked as human beings, Let these people go. What? Dokja, you should know better than this. We've known each other for a long time. It's not like you to say something like that. Come on, Dokja. And again, this is the person he thought Dokja was. You were always reading that web novel. You were always wearing those dark clothes, and your only friends were me and a couple of your colleagues. Good morning, Dokja. Oh, hi. Only people like Sang-ah try to talk to you at times. What's that got to do with anything? And then, you're secretly enjoying this, right? Am I wrong? I'm just like you, Dokja. We were in the QA department together. Do you remember what the others called us at work? Lab rats. Good-for-nothing game testers who have nothing better to offer. But look at them now. They're the people who used to look down on us. Do you know how much coin we earn with them? I have no idea. Can you even imagine? We rack 5,000 coins daily. We earn 5,000 coins without having to clear any scenarios. This is exactly what our company did for the game monetization models. I can't do it. Well, I guess if some of the main scenarios, I talked so much last chapter about this not making sense, but I guess if some of the main scenarios, didn't have death as a fail qualification, but it felt like so many of them did. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can just sit around and not actually play. But it just seems like that goes against the entire spirit of the game, the entire spirit of Omniscient Reader. I can't do it. He drops the knife. I just can't do it anymore. He gets pissed. That's pathetic. He's ruined it. Hey, some constellations are disappointed by the turn of events. If it's coins you're after, there's a better way. Huh? What is it? Is there a way to spice things up in there? We can use the constellations who like exciting things. How can you make this any more titillating? I knew I could count on you. Go on, I'm all ears. And the people are terrified. What constellations really love is a twist, I'm assuming. Blade of Faith has been activated. He slices apart the cages. Alright. Is this... What the hell are you doing? Why did you break the cage? And this, too. What the... And this also. Because again, it would be boring just watching gladiator matches, but if instead there's a gladiator uprising, you would think that would be much more exciting than the usual grind for the constellations. So you would get more people giving coins and tuning in. And Dokja's kind of mastered the super chat garnering so far. He slices their limbs off. My leg. What do you think you're doing, Dokja? And again, very cool that we continue with Dokja maiming but not killing everyone to allow others to kill them. I'm thanking you. And again, we have the dings, which we can assume are the super chats coming in, for creating a situation that the constellations would really love. And then Constellation Demonic Judge of Fire is happy with your decision. Constellation Prisoner of the Golden Headband chuckles at your merciless vengeance. Many constellations who were displeased with the actions of some constellations are satisfied with your action. You've been gifted 8,000 coins. So again, just 8,000 in a moment. Why bother making a farm when it's this easy to earn coins? Son of a... Get him! And they charge in. That was a really long break between panels. And then... Again, I keep... Why... There was Suyeong, right? For some reason, I'm like... I was about to say, and we see the fake king, and it kind of hit me. I'm like, why do I not even bother trying to remember her name? Why do I just keep going, oh yeah, fake king? She wakes up. What do you think you're doing? You were awake? I was pretending to be passed out so I could kill them all at once when their guards were down. Is that so? I'll leave you to it then. Wait. Out of health and mana. If you save me, all the constellations in your channel will leave. Oh? Don't you know they hate seeing things drag on? Over there, that's him. There's some who like it. There's some who like it, so do you want me to save you or not? A constellation who's been looking forward to a harem clasps his hands in anticipation. The one constellation is like, harem root, harem root. A constellation who lives by the enemy of the enemy is a friend is happy. People want the enemies to love her story. So again, the constellations are going to be totally into it. This is a cliche, you know that, right? The hero who saves a beauty in distress. I thought you didn't like cliches. You're wrong about two things. He kicks a guy away. Damn it, the wanderers from other areas must be gathering. One, I'm not a hero. Don't let them get away. Bring some more men over. You've saved the life of someone of your own species. Your karma points has increased by 1. Current karma points 14 of 100. Karma points are required to use the effects of the King of No Killing. I gain a point whenever the system decides that I saved someone. That means that Suyeong would have died if I left her there. I wonder if it counts for all of the people in the cages too. It feels like it should. And 2, you're no beauty. Lies. She is, as much as I love Hui Won, I think that she is the prettiest character so far. As much as, like, Hui Won's my favorite character. Just not like, I don't just like her because of her appearance. I think she also has a cool personality, and I think that her story and character is very cool. So I think Hui Won is my favorite character, probably. But when it comes to most attractive character, it is probably Suyeong. And then she gets pissed. Let me down. And plops down. I didn't mean like that. Fight with me. You love cliches. I've set the stage for you. And we have all the enemies there. I may like cliches, but holding hands with a former enemy of mine is much too passé even for me. And that's why we're going to quickly get this over with and move on to the next stage. Again, Dokja, very wrong. How can you say she is not a beauty? It's too late for you to try and look cool now. And then we have the scenario recap. Okay, well, I have been recording for a while, but at the same time, I'm too excited to stop reading. I need to see what happens next. So let's go on to chapter... Okay. My bad. My mistake. I gasped because I saw that I still had chapter 68 up here, and I was like, no, we're on chapter 69, we're going to 70, right? Because I saw the 69 up here at the top of the page. But then I was like, no, that's number 69, including chapter 0. It's right, it's chapter 68. We're going to chapter 69. Let's go to that one. All right, time to read chapter 69 because I can't stop. And this is the danger. I've been given too much power by actually having a new setup to record from, because my old computer, if I recorded for longer than like 30 minutes to an hour, like I used to record for hours at a time and then just get to work posting everything throughout the next couple of days. But like once my old computer started getting old, going bad, it got to the point where it would, like, OBS would kind of freeze or crash on me if I tried to record for longer than like 30 minutes to an hour. If I looked at the CPU usage for OBS, it'd be at like 30% plus, sometimes getting up to like 70 or 80% if my computer was being really dumb. Right now, currently, I recorded all of Kubera. I'm recording Omniscient Reader, and it says CPU is at 0.3%. I've been given too much power. I can't stop reading. So that's something I'm going to be running into with this new setup, is it's going to be hard for me to stop myself. The only thing that gets in the way of me continuing is knowing that after this, I'm going to have to sit through and edit all of this, and I hate editing. So either way, let's go ahead and start reading chapter 69. We have a violence warning for Omniscient Reader. Do we usually get these? We don't usually get these, right? I wonder if this is like a new Webtoons policy for like when it got to this point in the story, like 2 years ago or something, that maybe it was a new policy for Webtoons 2 years ago, or if this is like legitimately worthy. I think we might have gotten a violence warning before. We've seen some pretty rough, gruesome stuff in Omniscient Reader though. So it's interesting, like just last chapter we had limbs getting chopped off. So if we have a violence warning this chapter, but not last chapter, that's crazy. I wonder what's going to happen. Or it could be meaningless like Tower of God. Because Tower of God, you can have people getting decapitated, gnarly, gory injuries and not have a violence warning. Then you can get a violence warning, and like a lot of people are like trying to figure out why. What was it for? So, you know, maybe this doesn't mean anything. But we immediately start out with violence. We immediately start with people getting stabbed. And then we have Dokja and Suyeong teaming up. Again, hopefully I'm not getting her name wrong. And in addition to that, the stabs are being censored too. This has to be like a new Webtoons policy or something. Because before, it wasn't even censored and there wasn't a warning. Now it has a warning and it's censored. That's different. Huh. Yeah, it must have been a new policy with Webtoons or something. And then they slash through. We see all the people who've been taken out. And again, Dokja can't kill though. So he has to have kind of made sure he didn't go for a killing blow. Let her take the kill. Episode 69, Chapter 15, The World Without a King, Part 5. Wow, the rewards aren't too bad. Wow, they've gotten a lot of coins. I don't want to split the coins with her, but I wouldn't have made it without her. I'll just think of it as her tip. I really like her. She could quickly become one of my new favorites. I knew it. I knew this was who you truly were. And he's just all beaten up. I should have realized when I first heard those rumors. And then, oh, was that a kill? What's he going on about? He sure talks a lot for a bit part actor. What's with that look? Are you sad that he's dead? No. Then why do you look so upset? Man, is this getting deeper into the Dokja morality stuff? Because like I said before, I was like, is this... So we kind of got it in multiple stages. At first, he was showing Dokja around, and he's like, oh yeah, like, don't you want to get in on this and everything? And I was like, so Dokja, is this the kind of guy he thought you were? And then Dokja's like, wait, hold on. Am I thinking about who should live or who should die in terms of like the game, essentially? In terms of usefulness to me? That's a bit selfish, right? And now we go further where at first I thought, before we cut to his face, that maybe Dokja was going to be upset. Like, no, I'm not upset he's dead. I'm upset you killed him before he could finish what he was going to say. But no, it might be because he's like, I knew this is who you were, Dokja. So now he dies, and Dokja's like, shit, is this really who I am? Or at the very least, is this really who people think I am? Is this what people think of me? Man. And something like that might hit pretty hard. Just like after all of this slaughtering killing. I mean, again, if you're slaughtering and killing really, really awful people like them, I feel like it doesn't hit me as hard. But still, I look upset. And he thinks back. You just let him ramble on just now. Why the hell would you do that? Constellations don't like frustrating situations like that. You have to get straight to the action, you know. Oh, that was what you meant, of course. There's no way she'd be worried about me. I don't think you know what you're talking about. You can earn more coins if you let them have their say before you kill them. There's no catharsis without a little frustration. You're wrong. The readers, constellations, prefer to have you kill them right away. You're not even an author. What do you know? Oh, I know even better. I'm a reader, remember. This looks useful. Old gentleman suit, B-grade armor, brown suit worn by an old gentleman. It may be old, but it's still clean. Its defense stat isn't too high, but it'll be better than the robe of the great monk Suyeong. Okay, new outfit. It looks really, really good. You've saved the life of someone of your own species. Your karma point is increased by 1. Current karma points 25 of 100. So again, the karma's gone up a bit since the last check-in, so it's probably all the people who were freed that have made up those numbers. That's him, right? The man the man who rescued us. Did he win? He raises his hand. I won't be able to help you from now on. You're on your own from here. It may seem heartless, he thinks, but I can't afford to look after them right now. Also, it's the whole, give the people some coins and they'll survive for 10 days. Teach them how to get their own coins or leave them to get their own coins and they'll survive on their own. And be better off for it in the future scenarios. There are still plenty of items, so help yourselves. Head toward Chungmuro if you can. There may be people who can help there. Or people there who can help. Okay, so his allies, he thinks, might be regrouping at their main base station. Okay. In addition to that, if we're saying that people... So again, if we're saying that these people just survived without doing the scenarios, does that mean that the only people who have to do the whole surviving 10 days thing are the people who were at the throne who got teleported away? So Dokja, his allies, and the random nobodies who were pissed that he destroyed those random nobodies better be even more pissed. Because they were like, no, we don't want this guy. We want, a king or whatever, somebody to take the throne. And then they get teleported away, and they have to compete in this scenario to survive the 10 days. There may be people there who can help. Whereas maybe these randoms just don't need to worry about that. We have a smack. That's mine, let go. I got to it first. Did you just hit me? They immediately turn on each other after being freed and saved. We have Dokja, just tired of it all. Is this what that Dokubi wanted to show me? The world without a king. A world that spiraled out of control. The laws and principles we lived by. And there is a lot more, there's usually quite a bit of violence. There's maybe a lot more just overt violence, like this person cut in half here, this chapter, so maybe that's what justifies the violence warning. But, yeah. And the laws and principles we lived by, and the trust we had in humanity was all futile. Are you trying to get yourselves killed? And they look to the side. Are you all animals? Get a hold of yourselves. Use your head if you want to survive. Who knows if you'll run into people like them again. You need to stick together, not kill each other. But you have enough weapons and essentials now. Picking up a few extra items here isn't going to make you stronger than this guy. And I think they mean than, not that. Until you're sure that you're undefeatable. Find yourselves some trustworthy allies. That's just common sense. This is interesting because Dokja was thinking that she would be trouble to keep alive, but actually keeping her alive might not be a benefit to him even in the game sense, but in a more human sense. I mean, imagine the mental state that he'd be in if he hadn't seen this. Let's say that she didn't survive this, but everything else ended up the same. He saw these people even after he saved them fighting each other, and then he didn't have her saying this to, like, stop them or whatever. Like, without this to kind of snap him out of it, would that have just made his outlook even darker? So again, I had lots of complaints, I had lots of criticisms about the second half of the first chapter and some of the problems with Omniscient Reader just not being organized. I think it not being organized is one of its greatest weaknesses, but probably its greatest strength is the writing surrounding Dokja's moral questioning. Like, I don't even want to say morality, but it's the questions behind the morality that are so strong, and how the series actively plays into that and plays that up, I think is Omniscient Reader's greatest strength by a long shot. And there's a lot that I love. I love the art. I love the character designs. I love a lot of the side characters, though I do wish they got more attention. I love the way that some of the games have played out. Like, some of them have been much better than others. And as much as I love all of those things, I still think even just the moral questions behind Dokja's character is by and far, even more than those other things I love, the strongest part of the story. And they all stop and start helping each other up even. You know, that line, "Got it," she yells, and then runs off. I love her. She might be my new favorite. Like, I love Huiwon so much. How Huiwon is able to be cool, but also funny and not take things too seriously a lot of the time. And Huiwon, out of all the other characters, kind of jokes around with Dokja and the others more than anybody else, where a lot of the others have this air to them of solemnness or seriousness, or still honestly an air of fear of, like, they're not really joking around because they're taking this, like, entire apocalypse, I mean, it's an apocalypse, as something to really truly be afraid of, whereas Huiwon is able to keep an amount of humor even within the dark scenarios that I appreciate. And one of the biggest things I really like Huiwon's sort of sense of justice and how that plays into her actual abilities, I think is very, very cool. But as much as I love Huiwon in so many ways, like I just listed, I really like Suyeong a lot. We have Dokja. And of course it's hard to not like Dokja. It's hard to not think that Dokja is one of the best characters going on. Man, that's really good. That's all really good. I like her a lot. I love Dokja's new look. Why are you following me? The moment ruined as he just continues with her. You're plagiarizing your own lines now. Until you're sure that you're undefeatable, find yourself some trustworthy allies. This is what Jung-hyuk said in TWSA to the survivors who came to him asking for advice. I didn't copy anything. That's from my novel. Then why are you running away? Because, wait, why are you chasing me? She won't admit that she plagiarized the novel. I helped you. So you still owe me. He grabs her by the back of the jacket. What do you mean? Lend me your power bank if you have one. I'm sure you have plenty. And then, We have her looking back. Again, I think her design is just so cool. I love her face. I don't have any more. I lost them all in Gwanghwamun. See, my phone's battery's at 40%. Then let me have a look at your novel. No, you'll have to pay for it if you want to read it. How am I supposed to do that when all the servers are down? He just snatches the phone. Hey, what are you doing? What if the file she has is like mine? Give it back. She's so funny. And can only be read by her. He's surprised? I can read them. Okay, so he can read the fake files. Yu Jun-hyun quietly turned on his status window. He wanted to check out the Eye of the Enlightened instead of the Eye of the Sage, a skill he had just obtained. And then... So they still have third round regressor and pro gamer. And most of these are very similar still. Stigma's return from death. Even the stats are the same. You would have figured they could have done some synonyms. I finally have the Eye of the Enlightened. I've gotten lucky this round. Oh wait. They have the G here, so is it actually Jung-hyun? Smiled as he read his status window. And then... you really must not have a conscience. What? The character profile is an exact copy of the one in TWSA. You could have at least changed things around. TWSA refers to them as supporting constellations, but I call them sponsors. They're completely different. Yeah, whatever. What about the name of the main character? There's even a typo. Okay, so that was on purpose. There's even a typo here. It says Jung-hyun. If the author of TWSA... So was it was it actually Jun-hyun the first time? And then the second time it does say Jung-hyun. So the first character is the same as Jung-hyuk's. If the author of TWSA sees this, you didn't copy and paste this, did you? Hugh. So what is it? What are you looking for? How many episodes have you read of the original novel? 99. Why am I even answering him? Hey, give that back! It was her who read up to episode 99. What would the author of TWSA say if he found out the person who had read his novel the most besides me was in fact the plagiarist? Then you must know where the meteorite will appear. Is this in your novel as well? There are no meteorites in mine. Really? It's weird that Dokja wouldn't remember that. That seems like something important. I thought she would have copied that. But there is a thing called the sealing stone. Hey, stop pushing me. So she did. And then Suyeong was the one who found the meteorite that had the fire dragon I slayed in Anguk Station. I'm going to go look for the sealing stones. You mean meteorites. You know what I mean. Anyway, you know about them, right? Come to think of it, I put those fire dragon carcasses up for auction. I wonder if they've been sold. Byung. And then it's silent. I guess the Dokja of Seoul must be in a meeting, now that this scenario is ruined. How about a timed boost item? How about a random box for skills? Let's just sell lots of coin items. Give me some ideas. That's what they're probably discussing in the meeting. And then he opens the Dokja shop. The Dokja shop. Byung, that jerk, always too busy to message me, but still trying to sell me stuff. He didn't forget to put on ads. were there really ads? I guess. I don't know. I guess not really. Yeah, I guess we don't get to really see the ads. Unless those are just like, you know, like when you're on Amazon or something and it's like the sponsored search results or whatever. Maybe that's what those ones are that are on the front page. Many constellations are frustrated by the sudden ad. Or maybe it's meta. Maybe in a different reader, not Webtoons, there's an ad here. There's like an ad break in the comic. And then all the items I put up for auction have been sold. Fire Dragon Scale, Fire Dragon Bone, another bone. Wait. The other bones sold for a lot more. Someone actually bought them at these prices? They even took the bone I put up because I didn't have anywhere to store it. If I knew this would happen, I should have listed them at 99,999 coins. Incarnations who would have that much, or who would have this much money, are Anna Croft, who's supported by a nebula, Ranveer Khan of India, and Fei Hu from China. Thank you, whoever it was. That's about all I can think of. But why do you want me to go with you? You can probably make it alone. And I love name-dropping some of these earlier. Of course, we know Anna Croft already, but I love name-dropping Ranveer Khan and Fei Hu, because that's really exciting to name-drop stuff from the future, and also it gets you excited, like, for constellations from India and from China. That's just so cool. I can't wait to see more people from different cultures around the world. But why do you want me to go with you? You can probably make it alone. That's right. It might be a gamble to take Suyeong with me. Again, how do you say she's not a looker? Absolutely the prettiest. I almost died because of her. And if I look at everything she's done so far, she's a horrible person. And honestly, in real life, somebody being a horrible person makes them unattractive. But for some reason, in fiction, or at least here, it makes it better. It makes it better. I don't know how to describe it. And I think it's just because she's not like really a horrible person. She's just kind of a jerk. And like the kind of bratty jerk girl characters tend to kind of just be hot and like, growing up, one of my first cartoon crushes, one of the first times that I was watching a cartoon as a little kid and was like, I'm simping, was probably Blackfire from early in Teen Titans. And then, of course, there's like Gwen from Ben 10, the like good Gwen from the original before she got replaced by the boring Gwen later on. And like, so I don't know. Maybe I just have a thing for people who are jerks. But her avatar skill is pretty useful. And at least, in fiction. In real life, being a jerk is not a cool thing. And she knows the most about the novel besides me. She'll definitely be useful. And, you said so yourself, didn't you? That finding trustworthy allies is the key to survival. Sign here. Using item temporary pledge. Dokja Kim and Han Suyeong will be under a contract until the end of the current sub-scenario. Both parties will not harm each other until the end of the sub-scenario. Both parties will take turns sleeping to bypass the sleep penalty. Click to expand, click to expand! That is suspicious. Suyeong must follow Dokja's orders the entire time the contract is in effect. Suyeong will cooperate with Dokja in order to clear the scenario during the contract and follow his orders as long as it does not threaten her life. Dokja will protect Suyeong while the contract is in effect. The contract will come to an end as soon as the sub-scenario is complete. Any violations will result in the extinction of the violator's physical body. It's not as binding as a support contract, but this will be perfect for now. Do you think I'll sign something like this? I'm not forcing you. And why do I have to follow orders? I've never done that ever in my life. That's great. There's a first time for everything. Damn it. Okay, I'll sign it. But under one condition. What is it? We have to share our intel. I have a lot I want to ask you. And you better not lie. I have the lie detection skill. Character Han Suyeong has activated the skill Lie Detection Level 1. Just what the hell is your attribute? Okay. And then we have our recap at the end. That is a very cool ending too. Okay. Again, I have criticisms of the first chapter's second half, and I don't want to just brush over that and pretend that I wasn't negative about that, but at the same time, wow, that's so exciting. I love as much as I had problems with the second half of 67, I love the first half of 67. And then 68 and 69 were so good. I love the character work being done with Dokja here. I love the stuff going on with Suyeong. I think she's really, really cool. And moving forward, I want more of the two of them, sure. But we've seen a lot of Dokja. We followed him a lot. What I'm excited for, I want to see the side characters. I want to see Huiwon survive and fight whatever personal connection she had there. I want to see the same for Hyun Sung. I want to see the same for Ji Hye. Since we saw them getting separated, I want to see what they had to go through, how they're surviving, and even some of the other characters. Even some of the other characters like Min Sub that got, teleported away. Just seeing a teeny bit of what they've had to go through, even if we don't spend like a whole chapter on it or anything, just a couple panels to give us a bit of an idea more of some of the side characters and what they're going through. I really want that. I really would love that. But either way, I'll end it here. Thank you so much for watching. Like if you did like the video, comment on there. Tell me what you thought of these chapters, my first thoughts and reaction. Can't promise if it's super long that we'll do 3 every single week, but it's going to be hard for me to stop reading. Like, comment, subscribe, follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. We can talk on any of those places. Just ask and I'll give you a link to the Discord server, of course. If you'd like to help support the channel, like to help me to continue to make videos, drop a super thanks down below if you'd like to. If you would like to help support the channel and also get a shout out at the end and get One Piece videos a bit early, then hit join down below to become a channel member. Go to patreon.com/HakuOfTheTubes, or link will be in the description to become a patron. Huge thank you to people who are patrons and members. Thank you to Chosen Regular Evan Hawley, Magical Girls, FR Nono, Smeller Dog, and Abyss Knight, Jerryton Student, David Langstaff, Slayer Candidates, SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Element Pate Ardialo. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.